My name is Jennifer Stewart. I am the House Rep, the state rep for the 59th District here in Pawtucket, which includes the community of Woodlawn, where Morley Field is located. And Woodlawn is a working class community. A few decades ago, it finally got a park that it needed. And I'm sure it was long overdue then, but at least politicians and government agencies recognized that something needed to be done to improve the quality of life in our community. And that result was the William H. Morley Memorial Field, a park that was created through a National Park Service grant and a gift from the Morley family. And the community enjoys the park. Speakers here today will tell you the ways it mattered to them growing up and the ways that it still matters to them today.
That's right.
Woodlawn continues to have all the qualities that made Morley Field necessary in the first place. The problem for us today is that we have a city government that would rather sell off community assets for a hollow promise of economic development. How do we know it's hollow? Well, just look at the condition of the 10-acre microfibers lot, which JK Equities bought a few years ago. It looks bombed out. It is a pile of rubble. And their purchase of that site necessitated the closing of that field and its sale. And ever since it's been closed, Morley Field has just become a derelict site. And that whole area has become blighted. So we're here today because that closure and that pile of rubble next to it has been bringing the community down. We're here today because we want to lift our community up.
Yes,
And because we want our city government to do the right thing, to invest the way it should in our community, and to reopen the park as it was originally intended to be. So thank you again for coming out, and here's our first speaker, City Councilor Clovis Greger, who's been a real leader in this fight. So you just press and I'll hold this.
Hello everyone, thank you ever so much for coming down and continuing to support our cause here. A worthy cause which as Jennifer just stated, the municipality here does not care about our community. This is nothing short of racialized necropolitics at play. It is a moral indignity that is happening, that's been going on since they closed the field in June of 2022. And as Jennifer just stated, the out-of-state developer from New York who is looking to build a warehouse distribution center, not only were they allowed to demolish that entire block and left it in such a condition with heavily contaminated soil, uncovered rubbles of all sorts. They were supposed to, based on what the municipality was suggesting, they were supposed to correct blight. Instead, what they've done is actually create blight. And our quality of life has been affected. Our children have no place that they can readily access to go play. In fact, my son just started playing soccer, and I grew up playing at Morley Field myself. All my older kids played at Morley Field. We have people from all over the community who are totally dismayed and bewildered that this is what they think would improve our quality of life. Promises of 450 jobs are totally they're fabricated and exaggerated to such a level. Distribution centers such as the one they're looking to build are mostly all third-party contractors. So what jobs are they bringing to the community? None. In fact, they don't even have the financing. As a city councilman, we get quarterly reports from this JK Equities and Blackstone Distribution. And every quarter it's the same thing. Oh, we're still trying to work out the finances. And yet they were allowed to go ahead and demolish the entire place and leave it like that's such a thing. But in any event, I want to thank Steve Alquist, Pat Ford from the Coalition Radio for being with us the entire time since our socialism begun. Coron Allen was one of the first news the local independent agencies actually brought the story out. And we're thankful for all these people who continue to support us. All our community members continue to come out. And for those who don't know, this is our third rally that we're having on this map. And it doesn't matter the amount of pixie dust the municipality is going to spread on this proposal, that it makes sense to take the only green space, recreational space in this Woodlawn area and convert it to a parking lot. It does not make it right. They have no community support on that, other than in 14 years in power here, this administration has accumulated sufficient power to be able to try to pull the wool over people's eyes. But we're here to show them this is not going to happen, and we're going to continue to fight them until such time as not just a portion of Morley Field is rehabilitated, but the entire field is fully rehabilitated for our children. Thank you all again ever so much for your continued support. We have some folks here already to speak, including co-founders of the Oakwood Raiders, Johnny Santos and Lucian Tavares, who both grew up in Woodlawn and played with the Woodlawn Cowboys, and then subsequently brought the Oakwood Raiders in, and they can tell you their part of the story. Thank you so much.
That the speaker is in front of the mic.
First of all, I'm so happy to see so many here supporting all the people. It was mentioned earlier that it's all people coming together, as some members of the band mentioned, as well as everyone else that is here. We're all here for a different cause coming together because of the fact that this is a sanctuary that is being taken away from all of us. And I got some notes here because I want to make sure that our point is being really presented. First of all, this is Johnny, my cousin. My name is Jay Lucian Tavares, and we're co-founders of a group of people that utilize or used to utilize Morley, and these people happen to be kids. We started a youth football program in cheerleading 14 years ago. Coincidentally, same time leadership took over here in Pawtucket. We fought. I remember being in a conference meeting, fought to get the permit because that field for a long time has been abandoned. You guys don't know that. We fought to get the permit. We fought for them to get the conditions up again. We were fighting every year for 14 years. And I am so disappointed that now, we all are, that these kids who finally had a home to call their own now have to be taken away. And now they have to displace themselves into a different portion of the town. And the whole reason for us to bring that to their backyard is so they could walk down the street like my cousin and I did when we played for Woodlawn Cowboys back in the day, as Clovis alluded to earlier. We had that privilege, we had that opportunity. We want these kids to have that opportunity, and that's being taken away. Yeah, give it up. And this for me is about profit over people. You hear me? Profit over people. That's wrong. That's wrong. We need people over profit. And these people are everyone here. Look at each other. All of us here who are using that sanctuary, that green space, for something positive, for community. Johnny and I said we wanted that community to be stronger. When we started back in the day, and you can attest to that through the police department reports, there were shootings, kids were being killed, there was crime, there was gang warfare right here in Pawtucket. And we said we got to bring something back to the community that we came from. I don't even live in Pawtucket anymore, but that's near and dear to my heart. Pawtucket's still part of me, and these kids deserve the same thing I had an opportunity to. And I'm so happy to see, and I'm encouraged to see so many faces that feel the same way. So guys, don't give up. Let's fight. I want to give up for Clovis. Clovis has been a warrior for these kids. Clovis has been a warrior for all the people who in this neighborhood. I'm so happy that not only did he want to run, but he ran again. And he's doing it only because of his heart and because he too is part of the fabric of Pawtucket. He grew up here. He was able to play here. He was able to do all the things that he's asking this leadership to allow us to do again. And that's wrong. So don't give up. Whatever you can do, that little bit you can do to support, that little bit you can do to encourage makes a difference. This is where we have to make a stand, okay? No more profit over people. Let's do people over profit. With that said, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm over Johnny Santos. I'd like to just add, that field, most of you guys don't realize when it was built, it was a beautiful field. Had state-of-the-art lighting, sprinkler systems, there was stadium seating in there. It was a beautiful, beautiful field used by all the kids in the community. I would walk down from my house, and most of you would know, when you're from Pawtucket, we're not graced with acre lots. Most of us don't have backyards. I had very little backyard, so that was the place where I had to go to be able to play sports and be able to socialize with others. It was very important. Most of you don't know also, that place has so much potential. There's wetlands right behind there and stuff. I mean, that would be a great walking space to make some kind of, put a bike path. I worked throughout the state from Cumberland down to South County. And as I'm driving down these states, I'm seeing park, playground, walk with a bike path for communities that don't really need it. They got the space down there. We don't have it here. Our kids need to have a place where they can walk to and have a picnic, play basketball, play baseball. And there was another field down in that community also that half of you guys don't even realize. It was Newell Park. Newell Park is probably about maybe a quarter of a mile away from Morley Field, but Newell Park was a basketball location and a playground. When we were younger, there was city-sponsored events that went down there. There was during the summer vacation and stuff, there was lunch programs that you would go down there and you would grab lunch. Like I said before, most of us here, we're from working class. We're poor. You know what I'm saying? So you need that little help, that little handout or something. For us, like I said before, sometimes that was my only meal. It was going down to West Ave, going down to over Newell Park and stuff, going down to Morley Field and getting the free lunches there that they would provide, that the city would provide, that they're no longer providing for anybody right now. So all I'm telling you and stuff is keep the fight going.
Yeah!
Yes! The power is in knowledge. A lot of us don't know what our voices carry. So we be quiet. But our voices are powerful. And the more people who hear our voices, the stronger we're going to get. So I would continue and like to thank everybody who's been involved in this program. There's a lot of people who have nothing to do with this community that are still here because they know it's right. And like I said before, and even with this administration, put it to vote. I vote. Every time I vote, I see roads, schools. I'm always voting yes, because why? I know it's the right thing to do. I know our kids need schools. I know they need, we all need roads. Put it to vote. You don't want to do it and stuff, don't do it. Put it to vote, because the people will do the right thing. Our government isn't, but the people will. Thank you very much.
Thanks again, Johnny and Lucia, for speaking. So I'd just like to bring Richard Stank from the Conservation Law Foundation, who's here with to talk about some of the legal aspects here, which we hope it doesn't go to that. However, the Conservation Law Foundation has been extremely helpful to us in pointing out all the issues regarding this matter. So thanks.
Thank you very much. I'm also here with Joelle Brown, who's the head of Providence, Rhode Island office, doing what we can to make it work. And I'm not going to speak a lot, but I get a few words to say. Over the last few years, we've been hearing half-truths, broken promises from the city leadership that's trying to deceive us. What do you call half-truths, broken promises, and deception?
Lies.
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 How do you fight lies? With the truth. So let's highlight some really hard-hitting truths today. The truth is, we all deserve and have an inalienable right to come together, breathe fresh air, and enjoy life. Parks like Morley Field aren't just about grass and trees. They're about people, our health, our freedom to shape the neighborhoods we call home. The truth is, if Morley Field were in a wealthier neighborhood, no one would dare suggest paving it over for a parking lot.
Yes. That's the truth. That's the truth.
When was the last time you saw families in a wealthy neighborhood fighting this hard just to keep the last sliver of green space?
It doesn't happen. They find it. They save it first.
Yep.
The truth, on November 11th, CLF sent an 8-page letter to representatives from the National Park Service, Department of Environmental Management, and the city, setting forth in exacting detail how the city's federal Morley Field conversion application contains so many intentional omissions and misstatements of material facts that it was itself a shocking indictment of the mayor's violations of public trust and willful disregard of the environmental justice issues plaguing the Woodlawn neighborhood community.
Yes.
Well, it's now November 24th, and we haven't heard a goddamn thing from anybody about that letter.
Yes. Where's the mayor?
Finally, the truth is we're not giving up. Morley Field is irreplaceable, and we're going to fight with everything we've got to make sure it's not taken away by corporate greed and political deals. We're here, we're strong, and we're not backing down.
Yes.
Up next is
Daisy Benitez from the George Wiley Center.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Thank you for coming today and showing solidarity to Morley Field. It's our parks, our community, our people. That's what's represented there. So, yeah, thanks for being here. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Daisy. I work at the George Wiley Center, and as many of you know, the George Wiley Center is a place that organizes both locally and statewide for more equitable and just state, standing firm in our support for justice and peace. And in this case, justice means preserving our green spaces. We believe in addressing climate change and reducing health risks in our communities. Green areas promote physical activity and improve mental well-being. Every family and every child deserves a safe place to run and play. Many of us live in small apartment complexes, and for the low-income children, local parks like Morley Field may be the only option to play. If Morley Field is taken away from us, it would harm the families and the children of Pawtucket and the surrounding areas. So once again, as somebody mentioned before, the system is trying to profit off of the poor. They want to replace Morley Field with a parking lot that will do nothing for our communities and will only line in the pockets of the wealthy. And this simply is not fair. We must prioritize our children, our families over the profit, and it's unacceptable that affluent areas can maintain their green spaces without any interference from the decision makers. So, and while in the low-income neighborhoods like here in Pawtucket, they seek to take away take away the few recreational spaces that we have left. So we must stand together to protect our parks. It was already said, and I'm going to agree on it. We must demand justice for our families, for the children of Pawtucket, and for children of the surrounding areas as well. Thank you.
So next we have Tashira from the Roots to Empower.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I am not going to be up here long because everybody has already said what's in my heart to say. What I'm going to say is that park is needed. It's needed for a lot of reasons. It's needed because that's the only green space that we have that provides some sentimental value for the residents of this city. We should have reimagined, like, how can we make that a better space for all of us? And that's what the mayor should be doing, rather than, reaching out to or trying to have this big organization create parking space. We should be reimagining the space as a place for all of us to enjoy, a place for wildlife, a place for sentimental values that we all have regarding that space. As we know that this space, green space, provides, I'm just going to read off my paper now. It helps with our mental health and physical well-being, as Daisy said. There's a lot of reasons why we should continue to have that green space just for that purpose. As you know, we're going through a lot of climate change here in our state and across the United States and the world. And so that space helps mitigate all of those things that come with climate change, flooding, heat islands. So it's important to continue to have that space present. It's a way of boosting economic, opportunities. I imagine farmers markets, right? Being there, a place for baseball games, vendors, kind of activities that need to be there, present. Community gardens. And a walking path, that's the one you mentioned.
River access.
That's right.
Let's reimagine.
All of the above.
So today, in conclusion, we stand with the mission of, while we're all here, to protect that park, Morley Park. Let us all voice how we feel and let the mayor know this. I don't know if he's listening.
He hasn't been listening. That's the problem.
Well, we need to scream louder, right?
That's right.
For the sake of our community's health, our happiness, and future, we must protect what makes Pawtucket truly special, because Pawtucket is special. Thank you for your support, for all of you being here, and thank you for listening to me. And let's protect the natural Morley Park that's so dear to our hearts. Thank you.
So next we have, thank you again, Tasha. So next we have Amanda Pompelli, who lives in Oak Hill. And,
not anymore, really?
Well, not anymore.
I did live in Oak Hill.
Okay, but she'll tell you her side of sorry.
Hi, my name is Amanda. My family has lived in Pawtucket for 16 years. We lived in Oak Hill until 2023, and then we moved to Quality Hill. During the pandemic especially, but many years before that, I spent a lot of time in Bensley Point, which is the part of Riverside Cemetery that they are talking about using to compensate for the loss of Morley Field. To say one thing, we can say one thing about the fact that Bensley Point is literally right next door to Max Reed Field. That area of town does not need a park. Moreover, Bensley Point has been undisturbed land for multiple decades. I think more than 40 years, Mike. Has it been more than 50 years, 60 years? At least 60 years. It's been undisturbed. And when you have land that has been undisturbed for that long, it becomes a natural space. And right now, that is a migration stopover for multiple species during migration that are under incredible stress. And there's a lot of habitat loss that is resulting in a mass extinction globally. And taking away places like that and developing them is how you lose species. We have bees in there that are breeding. We have birds in there that are stopping during migration. We have eagles and osprey that nest in there. It is a piece of land that slopes very, very strongly, right? In order to turn it into a viable playing field, they would have to level it. So that would mean digging out everything, taking the top half out, turning it into fill, filling in the bottom half. I was at a council meeting a couple of years ago, and every member of that council, when they purchased that land, swore to me that they were going to leave it undisturbed. They were going to do minimal changes to it. They were going to maybe put in a walking path and a boat launch. Nothing. And now they're telling me they're going to turn it into a field. They're going to put down sod. They're going to attract geese, and they need to repel the geese that they're going to attract with like fake coyotes, right? Because of the invasive geese. And the fact of the matter is there are no geese there now, because right now it is effectively scrubland. It is like trees and small shrubs, right? They are going to ruin a natural space. So what is happening is they are ruining Morley Field, and then to answer for it, they are ruining Bensley Point. Nobody is winning in this situation. Make it make sense. Nobody is winning. They are causing Woodlawn to lose. They are causing Oak Hill to lose. Nobody is winning. And I want to say I stand with the people for saving Morley Field, and I stand with saving Bensley Point as well.
Thank you, Amanda. Now we have Jed Thorpe from Save the Bay.
Hey everybody, Jed Thorpe. I'm the Director of Advocacy at Save the Bay. We are here today because Morley Field matters, because every bit of green space matters.
Yes.
One of the biggest challenges facing Narragansett Bay is stormwater pollution, and the pollution that gets carried into our water bodies when it rains. And the reason stormwater pollution is such a growing problem is because we keep replacing green space and open space with pavement, with roads, with parking lots, with buildings and roofs. And that problem is even more pronounced in our urban communities, in our metropolitan communities. And we know the data is really, really clear that if you live in a low-income community, if you live in a predominantly black or brown community, you are less likely to have a park within walking distance of where you live. You are less likely to have a water body that you can actually come into contact with in your neighborhood. And that is not right. That is a form of injustice. And the way that we lose open space is not, a square mile at a time. It's a parcel here, it's a park there, and little by little, next thing you know, we wake up and we don't have any green spaces and we don't have any open spaces anymore. And that's not right, and when we notice injustice, we have to speak up about it and call it for what it is. This is environmental injustice. Now, the good news is that the story of Morley Field is not over. That story is still being written. You all are part of that story. You all can shape that story. I still have hope for a happy ending here for the story of Morley Field.
Yes.
And the mayor still has the ability to do the right thing. He can wake up tomorrow morning and he can say, you know what? I've seen the light. I'm going to do the right thing. We're going to save Morley Field. But we know that that's not going to happen unless we put pressure on our decision makers to do the right thing. It's our job as advocates to make it easy for people to do the right thing and to make it hard for them to do the wrong thing. Yes. So we got to keep making them feel a little uncomfortable. Okay, keep fighting, keep raising your voice, and let's save Morley Field. Thank you.
Thank you, Jed. Next we have Harrison Tuttle from Rhode Island Black Lives Matter Political Action PAC.
Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening. I want to thank the city of Pawtucket and its residents here for having our organization present at a community issue that really for multiple years has not been addressed from the elected officials that claim to represent you. And what we have here is a rally and a call to action to save Morley Field.
Yes.
but I want us to collectively together analyze and look at who we're saving Morley Field from. Who are the people that are trying to take away a federally protected green space that belongs to every single one of us? And that is a private equity firm, not in Pawtucket, not even in Central Falls, not even in the state of Rhode Island, but a private equity firm in New York thinks that they can come in here and buy, because that is what they're doing. They are contributing over $1,000 to Mayor Grebian's campaign account to take the land from you. Now, who thinks that's right? I figured so much, though. But the question, as Jed said, is the story is yet to be fully written. And in order to write and finish the story, per se, it is going to take a whole lot of organizing. And that means organizing every single one of you today. And that is why going around today, there are people that are asking for your contact information, because we need you to stay in this fight. Because if you don't stay in this fight, then one day we're going to wake up and Morley Field's going to be completely gone. Now, do we want that? No! I said, do we want that? No! So what are we going to do about it? Fight! And how are we going to fight? By organizing. We got to organize together. So I really appreciate. That's right. I don't know what you said, brother, but I probably agree. But I want to take this moment to thank all of you for being here. Let you know that Black Lives Matter Rhode Island Political Action Committee is looking forward to continuing to work on this issue around Morley Field. And please reach out to us as a resource if you need us. Thank you.
Thank you, Harrison. Up next, we have Sherry Cruz, who's our state representative here in Pawtucket, District 58.
Thank you. But I think who needs the applause is everyone here, because I look out into this audience of dedicated community members. I see so many. I see Chris, I see Glenn, I see Dave, I see so many community members here fighting, and that's what we need. All of us together fighting. I grew up here in Pawtucket, 3 generations. My brothers played on that field. We need that field. We are dying for resources like athletic fields and green space. We need to protect that field. And I'm not going to repeat what we heard earlier, but we hear it's being sold to an outside developer. It's going to be a parking lot for diesel trucks. We already know we've got a crisis, a public health crisis. We got kids in our community with higher levels of asthma and things like that. So this is what we as families, we as community members can fight for. We talk about after-school programming and opportunities. Well, there it is. We're selling it out. We're selling our future, right? For the lowest bidder, mind you. Okay? And that's what we're doing. And this is something that we have to do this together. It can't be just myself or a few elected officials. It has to be all of the community that comes together, because we need to realize that our numbers are power. And that's what this speaks today. That's right. It's cold and we're out here, right? We're out here. That's dedication. That tells this city administration that we mean business. We're not going away. Nope. You can try to prolong, but we're not going away until the kids in this community get their field they deserve, until the people in this community get the green space that they deserve.
That's right.
And until we can enjoy that and see it to its reality. So I just want to say again, please keep coming out. We're the power. And with that said, I'm going to bring up Clovis.
Thank you, Sherry. Up next, we have some folks from Sunrise Movement, Brown. We're here to share some words.
Hi, y'all.
What's up?
What's up? My name is Isaac.
I'm Garrett.
And we're both from Sunrise Brown, the Brown University hub of the Sunrise Movement. And we're both here 2 years ago at the second Morley Field rally out here. And when I was out here, I was thinking about a park back home I got called Baker Park. And when I was younger, it was that kind of park that kept me out of trouble. Instead of staying in and playing video games, instead of wandering around, I could go to basketball court where I learned how to talk trash.
Nice.
And it's also the field where I played kickball with my neighbors, where my little league soccer team would go out and play sometimes. And when the sun would set, I would just go walk back home a half block from my house. And so it's hard for me to imagine having something like that for generations. All of you out here talking about growing up parks that I've never even heard of, that you've been trying to protect for decades, and to have that yanked completely out from under you from a private equity firm that's not even from here, with the permission of your mayor, who didn't even ask you, while we see some of those badass city councilors and state representatives that I know who are here with the same number of people, if not more people, than were here 2 years ago. And so I see folks from the Black Lives Matter Rhode Island PAC, Conservation Law Foundation, Climate Action Rhode Island, Save Morley Field. I see high school students, I see college students. Because when we fight, we win.
That's right.
When we fight,
we win.
When we fight,
we win.
Thank you.
Once again, I'm Garrett. I also just want to say, as students, there's a bunch of us here. We came down, we took the bus down together because it was important for us to be out here to support y'all in this fight. Because many of us are, maybe short-term visitors to Providence here. We're here for 4 years for school from Brown. And we go to a school that has so much fucking money, right? It's just sitting there. So much money sitting literally up on a hill above the rest of the community, hoarding resources. And we don't think that's right. And we think it's so important in all of our work. We're part of the Sunrise Movement. We're dedicated to fighting the climate crisis, dedicated to fighting environmental injustice. We think it's so important to be out here supporting y'all in this fight against your own government, against this, foreign private equity company from New York, like Isaac said, to save this green space, because that's core to the mission of what we do, core to the mission of what every group that's up here has spoken about. And we just want to be bodies to help support however we can, and however is most helpful. Like Isaac said, many of us were here 2 years ago. Many people are new to Providence here, but have come out to support Pawtucket.
There you go.
My bad. We're in Pawtucket. We're out here in Pawtucket. But I was referring to, we brought many new students who are here, who are excited to be in this fight, be in it for, if it has to be 2 years later, but hopefully not, because like Isaac said, when we fight, we win.
Yes.
So, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Sunrise Brown. Next we have Zach Pinto, who graduated last year from Shea High School, Woodlawn, and he's currently attending Emerson College, which is my alumni. So,
thank you, Clovis. It's actually 2 years now. I'm in my sophomore year of college. First, I want to thank Sunrise Brown for being here, because, whether you're a temporary resident of Pawtucket or a permanent resident, you grew up here and you've been here your whole life. When you're here, you're part of Pawtucket, and so everyone has a stake in what goes on here and why we're here. A lot has been said. As Clovis said, I graduated from Shea High School. I grew up in Pawtucket my whole life, from Fair Lawn. I played youth football growing up, played on fields much like Morley Field. I played over, like I said, in Fair Lawn for the Fair Lawn Cardinals, and fields like Morley Field really meant everything to me growing up. In growing up in a family, working class family, really, a poor family, as was said earlier. Places like Morley Field are one of the very few places that I was able to go and escape with my friends and have fun and create so many core memories. So it's very important to me for next generations of students and the next generation of children to have spaces like this. But more importantly, I want to emphasize that, Morley Field and saving Morley Field here isn't just about this one field. It's not just about this one green space. And it's not just about green spaces in general. This is climate action. This is really about addressing issues of climate change. And I think a lot of us often feel small when it comes to such a problem like climate change, something that's so all encompassing. And we often wonder how we can as individuals combat it when we see private equity firms, giant corporations, and even our own government giving out subsidies in the hundreds of millions of dollars to oil companies and fossil fuel companies. But I just want to say, like, this is how you fight it. These are climate actions, coming up and showing up for the community, fighting to save each field and each green space is climate action, and it is climate justice. And more than coming up, more than advocating, the next step for climate justice and the next step in climate action is making sure that you're taking this energy and you're mobilizing it to the ballot boxes during the election season, and we continue to elect climate advocates like Jen Stewart, climate advocates like Sherry Cruz, making sure that we take this energy and we vote out leadership that has shown time and time again they do not care about our green spaces. And when they say they do not care about our green spaces, in reality, they don't care about the next generation of Pawtucket. That's the truth. That's exactly right. They don't care about the black and brown children of Pawtucket. And that's because, as Jed said, this is climate injustice, but really this is environmental racism is what it is. So let's call it for what it is. When we see that black and brown communities are disproportionately affected by all of these issues, there's only one way to say it, and that is that this is environmental justice. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you all for taking time to come together and communicate. And remember again, we have the power, we have the people power, and that's to vote the people that have proven time and time again they don't care about us out, and vote in actual leaders and climate advocates in. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Now, last but not least, is Greg Garrett, the Friends of the Moshassuck River, otherwise the Lorax, as we call them.
Working with the Save Morley Field crew has been one of the great things I've ever done. I've done a lot of fights like this. I've seen the fights up in Burrowville. I fought nuclear waste dumps in my little town when I lived in the woods. These fights are amazing as you go through them, and they're hard. They're real hard. We beat that nuclear waste dump, but that was because we had the power of democracy. In the state of Maine, the state had to get the town to vote on whether or not to turn it into a nuclear waste dump. And we made sure that the state knew that they would never get any of those votes in any town, not only our town. This is the same kind of fight, as the previous speaker spoke. It's a global issue. It's connected to all kinds of issues. So one of my talents is to write letters to government officials laying out what they really need to do the right thing, to create justice. I've been writing to the National Park Service this year, and they don't want to answer. They don't want to answer. So I went to our Congressman, Gabe Amo, and I said, get us a meeting with the Park Service. They've been not talking to us for 2 years. He didn't do it. Shame. It was a shame. And now we're going to fight an administration that, we have an administration now that sort of pretends that it believes in environmental justice. The next administration coming in, the next people who are going to run the Park Service are going to say,
Yep.
You know, I mean, there is nothing, you know, so this delay tactic from Grebian and our non-answer from Gabe Amo and also from Sheldon Whitehouse, because I asked them both directly to their face, and they said, it's complicated. I mean, what kind of crap is that? So we have to fight not only these guys, but, you know, the National Park Service doesn't really want to enforce its own laws, and it doesn't really want to have to think about how environmental justice needs to be part of the decision making when they authorize the closing of parks. And they don't even care anymore.
They do.
And it's really a shame, because this is exactly what we said. We need green space.
Yep.
You know, I'm the watershed steward of the river, and I've been waiting for the sewage treatment facilities to start taking the sewage that goes into the Moshassuck River right next to that park. And it's supposed to be cleaned up in 2 years. So you're going to have, finally, after 50 years, the water's going to be a lot cleaner, so they close the park. I mean, what kind of craziness is that? So, you've heard all the things we need to do. You've heard me tell you that our congressman let us down and are leaving us adrift with the Trump administration and its attitude about environmental justice. But we have to do all of this. We have to do a lot more fighting. You know, I get down on it sometimes because it's just really crazy that you write these people letters and they will not meet with you. They will not. They will say, "Oh, go meet with Mayor Grebian." As if Mayor Grebian wanted to meet with us. He was scared to meet with us because he doesn't have the truth to back him up. So, you know, DEM could have helped us. They basically just booted. It's like, it's up to us. So, it's up to us. So, I'm going to turn it over to one more person, and they're going to tell you how to fight better.
Thanks, Greg. Before we give it back to Jennifer Stewart to finish the closing here, I just wanted to say that Johnny had referenced Newell Park, which is right down the street from Morley Field. So that is not the only park in the Woodlawn area that are being taken over. In fact, the administration has systematically been trying to close and take away parks, specifically in the areas where there are predominantly people of color. So we were looking at Newell Avenue, was essentially neglected for years, totally dismantled, and is sitting there vacant currently. Laurel Hill Park was a park for our kids on Lonsdale Avenue that was simply closed down, sold for private profit to make affordable housing. And now they're looking at taking Gallego Court, which is a soccer field used mostly by Cape Virgin soccer players, on a continuous basis every Sunday having games, and now once they take that, they'll have no place to go. And if Morley goes, the only thing the Woodlawn's going to have is going to be Payne Park, which is not green space, but a basketball court. But so it doesn't matter how much pixie dust that they try to put on this proposal, that would make it correct in any way. It is immoral, it's environmentally reckless. So again, thank you all so much for coming here and for your support. Here's Jennifer Stewart.
To close us out with a call for action. Before I do that, I also want to recognize that Rep. David Morales from Providence also joined us. Thanks for showing up. And so, you've heard it all. Here's the call to action. Call City Hall. Tell them you want Morley Field. You don't want a parking lot. Tell them you want environmental justice, not continued injustice. Call and then call again. Keep calling and writing and reach out even further to all your elected officials and tell them that Woodlawn deserves a full, vibrant, well-resourced Morley Field. Thank you again for coming out tonight. Thank you for all the speakers, the Extreme Rendition Band, and I hope you all have a good evening and a really nice holiday later this week.
Wait, promise. Yeah, I can yell. I got a big mouth. Okay, ready? Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
residents, and we're here because we love parks for music playing.
Living.
Yes,
We got more even after that. If you used to play that instrument in high school, drag it out of the attic. Go on our website. Just Google the Extraordinary Rendition Band, Providence, Rhode Island. You get to our website, and there's a thing that says join us. If you want to book us, there's a thing that says book us. No experience necessary. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Parks belong to the people. The 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 parks belong to the people.
everybody. Thanks so much to the Extreme Rendition Band. Can we give them another round of applause? Just because we're involved in a political struggle doesn't mean we can't have fun and joy while we're doing it. So thank you again for coming out to join us, and thank you everyone for coming out to today's rally to save Morley Field.